Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
I'm Hal Lublin from podcasts such as We Got This with Mark and Hal, Tights and Fights, and Good Morning Night Vale.
Welcome back, Hal.
Thanks for having me back.
Now, we forgot to ask you yesterday, so I'm glad you could come back. And I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, I wandered in by mistake.
Right. You
But now
just
I'm here.
assumed. That's cool.
Mhm.
You know. Well, you're here, luckily, to talk about minute 88 of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. 88 starts with Poe shouting the word plan. Plan. And it ends with Poe being escorted off the bridge. He got the hook. They didn't like his
Plan.
You
Plan.
get two. You get two.
But yeah, so as I hinted at yesterday, it's really like that's not how the military works. And I know we're essentially, some people, one of their major complaints about this is like, why doesn't she just tell Poe what the deal is? And it's like, well, it's also not. You can't just kind of run up to the general, the admiral in charge of the whole operation and be like, you're doing it wrong. Like, why don't you tell me what this is? And like, why, you don't, there's a way kind of to do things. And it's not just the military. It's also with other, structures like that. And it's, sure, it might be better for morale, for everything, if she gave them a little more information. But also you can't just kind of rush up and start shouting and kicking things.
Also, do you think it would be a big morale booster if she was like, attention, everybody, I'm going to launch you at escape pods and then fly this giant ship into another ship on a
Right.
kamikaze
Yeah.
mission? So stay cheery, everybody smile. And yeah, I mean, so Poe's arc in this movie is what it means to be a leader and what it really means to be a hero. And he obviously hasn't learned it yet at this point. It takes sacrifice
Right.
to do it. And seems to be willing to sacrifice other people willingly. He does it at the beginning of the movie. So there's this, like, again, it's like the brash in most movies that character would get whatever information they wanted instead of being treated like the baby that they're acting like.
Right.
He throws a full-on tantrum.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this particular storyline, but Poe is totally out of line. He's totally, literally, like, yelling on the bridge. I mean, and then I guess it gets even worse because then he's like conspiring to like get rid of her and stuff. So I guess
Yeah.
he does. Maybe he might have taken it a little too far.
Is this
Yeah.
the one where he kicks a trash can and stuff?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, come
and
on.
then calls her a traitor.
Yeah.
And
A lot of people being called traitors in this. A lot of cowards and traitors in this film. Cowards and traitors. It's the new sitcom.
I thought that was the new album from DJ.
That's true.
That's his like when he's trying to get like serious. You know what I mean? His concept album
Right.
was Cowards and Traitors.
Oh,
you
was-
know.
Like looking out at the twin suns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Two
like,
things in life: you're either a traitor or a coward. That's it.
instead of side A to side B, it says cowards and then traitors.
Oh,
So
right,
each
I
side
like
is
it.
different. Yeah. All right.
Who's the Merle Haggard of space? Because I feel like that would be his album.
Right. Who is the Merle
Um,
Haggard of space?
So we get another Leia. Leia loves talking about hope, and we just saw her in Rogue One explain it. Talking about how hope was
Mhm.
what, and here we get Poe and Poldo sharing a quote from the princess. Hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it when you see it, you'll never make it through the night. So what do you guys think about that aphorism? If Yoda had said it, would we all be quoting it?
It works. I don't know. I don't know that it works necessarily as a kind of. I don't know that necessarily that it works here. I don't. It doesn't take me out of it. I'm not like, that's too rustic. But it's the way that they say it. I'm not sure that I'm buying their.
What they're selling.
It's weird. It's not like a bond. It's not like they're bonding over it. They're just kind of like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. Don't quote that at me. I know that quote. I was
Right.
told that
Yeah.
quote. Here's the other half of it.
I told Leia
Jackass.
that quote. She got that from
Yeah.
me.
Coward traitor.
Right.
Hope you enjoy the fact that I know that quote too, dummy.
Bring me another trash can.
One thing I think is kind of odd about it is that she says hope is like the sun, and I wonder if in Star Wars they would refer to it as the sun as opposed to a sun, because although I guess in this case the sun is more like a symbol than it is a like referring to
Right.
you know,
Hope
it's
is
kind of mix,
sunshine.
but you know, even the fact that they call it the sun is a funny thing when you consider that they're in a place where every planet has its own sun, probably has a different name. Each sun has its own name and stuff like
Right.
that. So it's
Yeah.
funny that they just call it the sun.
Which, would I like it more if it was like, hope is like Blorgnak? If you don't only believe in it when you can see it, I'd be like, yeah, man, hope is like Blorgnak.
I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. Hope is like Blorgnak. Check out
So
my
I have,
Etsy
like-
store.
Like an inspirational poster on the back. It's like a picture of a sunset with like a palm tree, and it says, hey, hope is like Blorgnak.
I have that in my Han Solo reaching out to Lando Calrissian that says "Hang in there."
All right. Nice.
Thanks. It's not making any money for me.
Mm.
Yeah, it is. I like it as a quote. It makes sense. It also feels like the other way of saying that the night is always darkest before the dawn. But there is a
Right.
lot of. It's a very hopey movie, even down to recycling the recording of Leia and reminding us that the movie was called A New Hope later on.
Right.
I know it was originally just Star Wars, but
Yeah.
hope
You
is
remember Hope.
a major
Hope is a
theme.
thing. It's the thing that rebellions are built on.
Yeah. And we got away from that. There's really not there. Well, there is actually, they do mention hope in the other. They mention hope in every damn movie, all the original ones. You are our only hope. Like that is, it's all put inside. It's not really about faith. It's about hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that... I'm trying to think. Like, are there movies where they don't say hope?
Star Wars movies?
Yeah.
Maybe the
No,
prequels.
movies in general. Are there
It's a fairly
has anything
common.
ever been committed to cellular without the word hope being
It's a
involved?
fairly common word. I
That's
imagine a
true.
lot of movies have it in it. So it's-
Oddly, Hope Floats never mentions it.
It's just in the title. It's like one of those.
Road to Morocco never mentions it.
Never.
R2, so it's in Empire.
Mhm.
Let's see. It is a fairly common word. You're right. It's in Empire a couple of times, but not in like the grand sense. It's just like,
Not capital H hope.
like, let's hope we don't have a burnout, and
Yeah.
like, someday you're going to be wrong, and I hope I'm there to see it. That kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking Return of the Jedi was the Emperor has already won.
Right.
You are our only hope.
Right.
And he's like, you want a different take? No, that's fine, Alec. Just do it like that again.
Oh yeah. Look at that. And like, if I don't make it back, you're our only hope for the Jedi has a lot of hope in it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I wish they put it more like, instead of saying like "May the Force be with you," it's like "I hope the Force is with you." It
Well,
sounds
the
so
Force
like
is with you.
passive. Like, well, I hope the Force is with you.
I hope. It's weird how like how hope is. It's both a thing to aspire to and something that gets weaponized against Luke. This idea that you're the hope, you're our only hope,
Mm.
and then what
Right.
that does to him takes him to where he is, and he does what almost every Jedi does. Every major Jedi who at least survives Order 66, which is run away and hide.
Yeah.
Like hide in either in shame. Like Yoda's basically like, we got our asses kicked, we got to go hide. There's
Yeah.
no let's continue to fight. It's we've lost, we've got to go. So there's that argument of, well, there's no way Luke would ever do that. Like, the hell he wouldn't. Look who he learned from. Two
Yeah.
people who spent his entire life in hiding for one reason or another.
Does this mean that we should expect to see Rey become a recluse Jedi?
So
Although-
the next thing she does is hide.
Yeah.
As soon as she
Right.
snaps that
At the end.
lightsaber on.
It's like Ray Skywalker, and then she just goes inside the Lars household and goes like hides and never comes back out.
The next shot is her opening a Jason Bourne box filled with different passports and picking a new identity that is not a Skywalker to go run away.
I'm now Ray Quaterneros.
Ray Quaterneros.
One weird thing doesn't have anything to do with Hope, but I notice Poe has a shoulder holster. And it made me. Do we ever see anyone with a belt holster? It made me wonder if we ever see anyone with a shoulder holster in Star Wars.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
They're very common on Earth, but you very rarely see them in Star Wars. So the only one I can think of is the guy from that Mandalorian, Bill Burr, when he had the Mandalorian episode, and he had guns that popped out of his shoulders.
And even those were like mechanical.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, who was the one that had the? I'm trying to. Taxi Driver, I guess, is the most famous example.
Oh, right.
With the pop out gun.
Do you think it's too like the real world? Like it's too
New York or L.A.?
Yeah, I guess
Seattle. I was doing background research while we were talking, and it seems like the word hope it's in all the Star Wars movies that I could find.
Mm-hmm.
So
good.
And half the time it's not the grand scheme, like the big concept of hope. It's like, Watto saying like, I hope you didn't kill anyone to get it, know, that kind of a thing. So.
Lock the door and hope they don't have blasters.
Right.
I think every time someone says hope, someone else should go, hope is like the sun, and then repeat that whole aphorism. Rebellions are built on them.
Yeah. I hope you didn't kill anyone I know to get it, eh? Like, rebellions are built on hope.
Do you think that's a Bail Organa quote that's just filtered its way into the whole Resistance?
That rebellions are built on hope?
Yeah, it feels like a Bail Organa
aphorism. It probably because Jyn Erso said it in the thing, and then Bail Organa probably picked it up and keeps saying it and doesn't cite her because she got exploded and she was a criminal and whatever else. So he's probably everybody's like, that thing that Bail Organa says, and we're like,
and now he got blown up, so there's no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He never corrected the record on his way out. Also, another guy who was like, and so it is, and then he just disappeared. It's like, no trouble. I'm out of here. Okay.
Organa out.
Well, his name is Bail. I mean,
we should have known.
Is that a running thing through the rebellion / resistance? Is this like?
You got to know when to quit.
When you push up on them, like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I'm just realizing this. It's making me sad. I don't want this to be. This isn't true, is it? It's not. Can't be true.
That's why people like Han Solo and Lando became generals so quickly, right? Because everybody else is just like, I don't know what. And then so they're like,
I'll do
these
it.
guys are just like, I don't want to, but I'll do it. And they're like, oh, good. Yeah. You want to lead the here? Have my coat.
And technically, Han Solo did wind up running away too. So even that one didn't stick it out.
That's true. But when he leaves, it's to go pay off it. He goes to confront something else.
Oh no, I meant in Force Awakens.
Force
Awakens, he runs away once his son goes evil. Yeah.
Too much time around the rebellion.
Yeah. People in Star Wars really need to toughen up and get a thicker skin if they're going to win this battle. I mean, it's
eventually they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Little sound design I like when Poe he's yelling at Holdo about something, and all of a sudden he stops and he hears the computer alerting him that the fuel is being just sent out to the shuttles, and the fuel alert is like dook, 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 dook. Like it's like someone pouring fuel into a. So I like that sound. It's very very intuitive sounding. You can definitely know if something's being fueled by that. So
I like. It would have been more. It's like the only way it would have been more evocative. It's literally like a fuel pump. It's like ding, ding, like little dials rolling or something like that.
And she's trying to top it off to round it off to the dollar. Oh yeah, that's a weird. I live here in Oregon, and we're not allowed to pump our own gas here in Oregon.
Oh really?
So people don't understand that feeling of trying to top it off and get it rounded off or anything like that. So
I didn't realize. Well, I thought New Jersey was the only state.
Jersey and Oregon.
Allowed.
For some reason, the powerful gas pumpers union will not let legislation go through allowing people to pump their gas.
I never feel fancier than when gas is being pumped into my car. I'm like, do you have any Grey Poupon?
Just be glad that you were spared the nightmare that it was gas station TV though.
Oh,
What's gas station? Is that like is that
gas
like taxi
pumps.
TV?
Yeah. It's like taxi TV, and like except in taxi TV you can mute it,
Yeah.
you can stop it. You cannot stop it on gas station TV. It's just a
You
loud
can't
blaring
stop.
speaker.
Yeah.
No, you can't stop it.
Hi, I'm Jim Cramer with 3 money-making tips while you're filling your car up.
Another thing I like, in addition to the sound effect, is the extra. I don't know what her job is but when Poe goes over to the screen and starts yelling about it, the blonde like ensign or whatever like gets up like, whoa, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Like, she does a real great job of being like, this guy's crazy, and kind of like back. See, that would be the type of role I mean, like that where.
Oh my God.
Right.
I would love it. I
So
mean,
ironically,
really, I think
she got up.
Yeah.
She got up and she just left. She went over to there's nobody guarding the escape pods anymore. So she just got up and she's like, that's it, I'm out of here. And she just walked, got into an escape pod and left.
Yeah, I guess once Rose left, probably the escape pods went pretty quick, though.
Right.
And they've been gone for.
Chaos Crazy's gone. Let's go. And like they all ran in and got
That was like
piled
12
up,
hours ago. So,
like college freshmen in a phone booth.
By the way,
goldfish.
I realized the perfect role to play would be like a Wilro Hood, where
Oh
like,
yeah.
is that guy running around with a paper shredder? Like,
Yeah.
and then
Carry
and
a
then
distinctive
become a legend.
prop is the key.
Yeah, totally. Did they? I don't think the actor who played Wilro Hood, has he been identified, and does he do like Star Wars Celebration? I think he would be incredibly popular.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I mean, there's the action figure that they put
Right,
out
yeah.
of him. They've got to know who he is. I'm pretty sure who he is. That can't be hidden. I feel like the bigger hunt was the guy who hit his head on the door frame, the stormtrooper. I think weren't there a couple people who claimed
candidates.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Will the real stormtrooper who hit their head on the door frame?
The funny thing is, I'm sure a lot of because apparently they couldn't see a thing in those helmets. So apparently, I'm sure people were bumping into walls and stuff all the time. And then like everyone did bump in, but who's the one who actually made it on screen bumping? And that's the real question. So
give me that supercut to Yakety Sax, please.
See, that's the thing that what Hal was talking about. That if your face is gonna be covered, you need to shout something.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise, if your face is covered and you don't say anything, anybody could be like, "Yeah, that was me."
Yeah. Especially if you're like the Wilhelm scream guy in the movie,
Right.
then it's not even, you can't, there's no way you can prove it at all because they won't be able to hear you no matter what, even if you did a great scream.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're no Sheb Woolley. Sorry.
I like the go ahead, Pete.
I cannot find information on the actor who plays Wilbur Hood. It just lists
yeah.
the behind the scenes stuff.
was
Is
me.
like, oh yeah, he appeared as an extra and was like, but it doesn't say who the actor is.
I wonder if he knows how famous he is.
I don't know.
Famous.
Yeah, put that in quotes.
I would love it if he showed up at Celebration, but it would only was running. Like you could only catch a fleeting glimpse of him as he ran around.
Like
the
literally
hall.
ran through.
Yeah.
And if you do, he'll give you ice cream.
All these kids following him.
Right.
Rum raisin for you. Or he's probably British. Hello, rum raisin. All right. He's the rare British actor who was in there, as opposed to a bunch of John Ratzenbergers running around.
A bunch of John Ratzenbergers. So here's another actor we don't know the name of. When we see the bridge guard on the deck, who Poe gets taken away by the bridge guard. According to the Visual Dictionary, his name is Durham Boyce. Derham Boyce. No information about the actor, but weirdly, when I Googled it, there is a British PhD student whose name is Leah Durham Boyce, spelled the exact same way. And it makes me wonder if this is some friend of Pablo Hidalgo's or like some connection to it. Anyway, it seemed like a weird coincidence that there'd be someone with that exact same last name. So that to me is a real canonization, is when your name should, like if your character showed up and had the same name as you, that's like even better.
Which would that? I mean, we've had.
I guess it's kind of like your thing. Yours, Pete. You have Pete de Ritalia, which is kind of like that, where you're
right.
you're presumably
You know.
honoring someone by making their name the name
Right.
of a
That's
Star
what I was
Wars
wondering.
character.
Like, is it better to have, not better, but like the difference between having a character like that could potentially, so far she's got 2 appearances.
Mm-hmm.
So like, is that, and lots of lines in those, or more than just one line in those. Is that more satisfying than being, the one? No, I don't think so, because I can't do the convention circuit as, like, yeah, I'm the guy that character that was in that one comic book was named after.
Yeah, I actually am canonized in Star Wars.
Right.
In Join the Resistance.
Nice.
There's a character named after me.
What's the character's name? Hal Lublin, or
I think the character's name is Hal. It's like Hal, but with like I think it's HA apostrophe AL.
they Klingonized it.
He's one of the kids in the group. Who I can't remember if the kid gets blown up or not, but
see,
but I can't trade off of that. I can confirm you cannot trade off of that, but you just reminded me that it's a fact, so I'll take that to the bank.
And wait, so Join the Resistance is the same era as Peter Till. So we got to get Hal and Peter Italia to have an adventure. We got to get somebody to write an adventure with these two.
Yeah,
they can go to the planet LX Robinson or whatever the.
Yeah, that's right.
Book it.
Let's do it.
Somebody
and I
out
guess also being on the set is different. That's part of the
right.
More so than anything else to me at least. But
imagine when they put that ice cream maker in your hands and say run. Just
how
run
heavy
like
it is
wind.
in real life. Is it just empty plastic?
Oh, this is 1979. You know that thing was heavy.
Oh yeah.
You know that they didn't make light appliances in 1978, 79.
Now picturing like the cord dangling behind him as it's like scratching the floor of Cloud City.
Like half a dozen D batteries. Like,
Yeah.
I got it. It's coming. Hang on.
Stainless steel lid.
Yeah.
So what else you guys got? What else you guys feel about minute 88?
Well, we kind of asked this at the beginning, but I think if Poe wasn't throwing a tantrum when he came in, if he was, if he had tried honey instead of vinegar, what's the I don't know. What's
catch
my
more,
method?
Catch more flies with honey than vinegar?
Yeah. If he was just like, hey, like, Holdo baby, like what's going on? Like what are we, I'm interested in helping out. What are we doing? Would she have revealed a lot more than if he just came in and started kicking stuff and shouting? Like, would she? Is part of her withholding just out of spite?
With Holdo.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I feel like from the beginning she didn't seem like she was really interested in humoring him and telling him information. Maybe she has some kind of like particular grudge with him too, Like she calls him Flyboy and seems to know so maybe she kind of went into it also being like, if this guy tries to push me around, I'm gonna show him why I'm a vice admiral.
I mean, yeah. Well, clearly, Leia sees something in him that he can be a leader, but he is a flyboy. Think of how many Poe Damerons she's seen in her time in the Resistance. I mean, she's a storied, battle tested veteran.
Yeah.
She doesn't know him squat. So, however he can, he's already sort of revealed who he is. He's already gotten most of their squadron destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's complaining that there aren't a lot of ships left. Hey, what happened to all those bombers, buddy? Like,
she should have just prayed, we could use right now bombers. Oh.
Yeah.
We had a lot of them. Where did we put them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, the only thing he should be saying is coming in there going, like, how can I help?
Right.
He's not there to help. He's there to do what he thinks is best instead of what may be in everybody's actual best interests. He's not ready to have important information yet. He just wants to go blow stuff up.
Right.
Should he have been put in the brig for this?
Space jail, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, because she just says, so get him off my bridge. But then we find he's still at liberty. He's still able to radio Finn and all that stuff. So anyway.
Probably, but again, like what, maybe that, it's the courtesy afforded to him from being a successful, flyboy leader, such as he is.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, well, let's just get you a timeout versus actual, jail time here.
So if Ello Asti had survived and was doing this, he would have been thrown in the brig because he doesn't have the.
I think he's got a higher standing. I think
Right.
they would have been like, please, gentle, noble creature, please, just give us time to work on this. Give us some space here.
She's basically just banishing him to the kids' table. He can still be of use somewhere. Just
right.
This isn't his spot right now. He hasn't earned his way there. So
she should totally like launch a drone. It'd be like Marge making like, Homer, I made you a cake to ruin over there, and it's like the one with all the like just letters glued on it randomly. She just like launches a drone and like, oh look, I gave you something to blow up.
Go get it. Go get it.
Yeah, she should have just given him some kind of like busy work to keep, like untangle these Christmas lights or whatever, something to just keep him occupied.
Poe, we need your help. I have all of these pegs. You can only jump one space at a time, and at the end there can only be one peg left. The entire galaxy is depending on you.
So Hal, you said obviously you expressed your love of The Last Jedi. Has this always been the case? Do you remember the first time you saw it? What year? And how many times did you see it in the on the big screen?
I can't remember how many times I definitely saw it a couple, like 2 to 3 times, maybe 4 times in the theater. I felt like, and I still do, despite the film that came after it, that it was the
Solo?
most. Yes, despite Solo. I think it is the most important Star Wars movie after A New Hope, after the one that started it all. And the reason why I say that is because it refocuses the camera just a little bit to the side and opens up a ton of possibilities and says, hey, there are stories to be told here. And there's a larger story to this entire universe or galaxy system, whatever you want to call it, that doesn't revolve around one family. And those heroes can come from anywhere. So then I go, oh, well, I'd love to see this story wrap up, but what will the next movies look like now that we know that everybody who's a Force user isn't somehow blood related to the Skywalker family? Like that can't be all that's left. That's not, it wouldn't make sense. Like the Force is going to find a way to balance itself somehow. So I just appreciated that. And I also, because I know Rian Johnson, I was excited to see his movie and I like him as a person, but I also think he's a really talented filmmaker. And I think it's beautifully shot.
Yeah.
You could hang some of those frames in a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
Exactly. So that, I was kind of blown away by it. And I remain, every time I come back to it, I'm still like, oh, I forgot how much I like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I also understand the criticism of it, and it can't be everybody's cup of tea, but for me, that's how I feel.
Yeah, we've, the double-edged sword that is this format, like, we end up like really getting to be like, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
But it's, at least in this case, and in several of other cases of the other movies, it's never enough to be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So I don't like this movie anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, that's funny. That doesn't make any sense. Oh well. But check out this other part, like it's and the parts in this that I loved really get to, like, I'm discovering more of those as we go through, and then the parts that I didn't like as much are either better or shorter than I remembered, and it's just like, I didn't like that part. Oh, it was only like literally less than a minute. Like, oh, all right, well, great. Like, now we're on to the next one, and it's like, this part I love. Look, check out what's going on here. And it's definite. It'll be interesting to watch what the overall public opinion ends up being, because right now it's, you've got everything kind of shaken up in a jar, and as time goes on, everything will start to settle. And interesting to see what the public opinion on this and on Rise of Skywalker will end up being, and Solo to a certain extent too.
Yeah, it ultimately comes down to generations and what you hold on to. Like, nothing will ever be as precious to me as the original 3 films, and of those, Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. That I can't imagine that ever changing, no matter how much I enjoy something else, because that's the first movie I ever saw in a theater. It's embedded in my DNA at this point. Those are the characters I grew up with. So
Right.
how you can't possibly do them the justice that I would want done to them or how I think they should be. I already got that.
Right.
So now let's see something different. And some of it I've liked and some of it I absolutely abhorred. But I also, the big thing that my Star Wars journey, which when it hit Rise of Skywalker, I walked out of it and kind of put aside how I felt and then realized that the great thing about Star Wars, the thing that I love about it the most, is everybody has their own Star Wars, their own experience, the thing that they love, the thing that is central to them. There's an entire generation that loves the prequels because that's what they were. That was the experience I had with the original films is the experience they had watching those. So you can't move them off of that, and you shouldn't want to. It's not my job to tell them what they should think is good or not. And I get to pick or choose the things that I enjoy and just consume that. And that's a beautiful thing if you think about how much Star Wars there is in the world from what there was when we were kids.
Right.
And we had like Ewoks and droids and Battle for Endor. That was what we got after the films came out. And now look, it's crazy, and I'm very appreciative of that.
Although now look, we have Ewoks and droids in Battle for Endor again. It's a bit. Now we can come back and watch it.
Thank goodness.
Ring theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a flat circle.
All right. Well, Hal, I know we didn't ask yesterday, but can we ask today? Can you come back tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. No, I didn't mean to make that as confusing as possible. Listeners, hey, do you like that thing that's hanging behind Alex? If you're watching this on YouTube, StarWarsMinute.com/YouTube, you can look and see, hey, Alex has a cool thing hanging up behind him. That's not available, but there's lots of other cool stuff like that are available at StarWarsMinute.com/merch, MERCH. Lots of different cool designs, lots of different goofy, fun t-shirts. We haven't put up one in a little while. Maybe we'll put up some more coming up soon. We have lots of couple of good ones from this.
That DJ merch now.
We got to make a DJ one.
Right.
But we have, Porgo Loco. We've got Rostico Tay's Crazy. We got a couple of ones from this season. So go check it out at StarWarsMinute.com/merch, MERCH, and then come back here tomorrow for a brand new Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Go with me.